Hey guys, this is Don, and this is my last video at my life at Logan. So actually, I guess I can say now, I am Dr. Davis. Graduated a few days ago. So this would be my last video with you guys. Kind of explain what's going on. So Try 9, Try 10. Try 9 was my last time at student clinic. Try 10, I moved into a place called Hillsborough Sports Medicine, which is a kind of a evidence-based acute care type chiropractic clinic. Great place. I was with Dr. Josh Browning. Awesome doc. Taught me a ton of stuff about diagnosis. Just finding the right problem for the right solution, which is a big problem with a lot of docs, I think, nowadays, especially some of the older docs that don't put the time in to stay current with the evidence. So I had a great time down there. Spent Try 10 down there. Like I said, learned a ton. Prepared me a whole lot better than the regular Montgomery student clinic would have. Instead of seeing 100 patients, I saw 1,000 patients. Got to see all kinds of cool stuff down there, and put in a lot of time, did a lot of adjustments, did a lot of work, worked up a lot of cases. So definitely for prospective students that are getting into this, get out of the student clinics and into a good clinic as soon as possible. Get in some good evidence-based clubs, forward-thinking club, progressive clubs. Get to those doctors that are seeing not your wellness patients, but your acute care, hot low backs. We saw a ton of athletes down there. So those are the kind of things that you need to get into real life. Not your, retiree who just likes coming in, and getting adjusted, every other week or so. That's not going to help you improve as a doctor. Like I said, Try 9, it was a great experience because I inherited a lot of patients in the student clinic, got to see a lot of people, but Try 10, moving out into the real world, into an actual clinic, was so much better. So here is kind of my wrap up, my advice for the new docs. If you're going to get into this profession, try to have some kind of idea of what you're going to do after, because that's been kind of just a black hole at the end of all of this, because you get a ton of student debt, and it's not like an MD or DO where you come out and like automatically, hey, we're going to give you a $250,000 salary and stick you in. So no, as coming out of DC school, you're going to be more like making $45,000-$50,000 a year as opposed to $250,000 a year, which I'm sure their salaries aren't quite that bad. It's more probably $150,000 a year, but still, that's a pretty good chunk of change when you consider the amount of debt that you come out with. So have a plan. If you're going to go into DC school, have a plan of what you're going to do after school. Myself, I didn't have a plan. I thought maybe, when I first got into school, maybe I'll go home, open up a shop, blah, blah, blah. Then as we were here, we realized, hey, I don't want to move back to my hometown. We want something a little more diverse for our kids, something a little more open-minded from where we're originally from. Fast forward 3.5 years later, we're moving close to back to where I'm originally from, but not to the same little small town. We're moving to a college town that's probably 4 or 5 times larger than my hometown. So have a plan. And they always say move at least 100 miles away from a chiropractic school. Move at least 100 miles away from a chiropractic school. Looking for jobs here in the St. Louis area, it was slim to none, and granted I had an offer. It was a very good offer, but with a family, a wife, 2 kids, I couldn't jump into what's called an independent contractor position and not have money coming in. So I was looking at more of an associate position. Luckily, I found one, like I said, close to where I was from. I still have some connections in that area, so it's going to work out. But like I said, if you're going to go to DC school, go in with a plan of, and a realistic plan of not I'm going to come out and I'm going to work with high level athletes, blah blah blah. You hear that stuff all the time, and of course I've never heard anybody say that that's what everyone says they hear. Athletes are great. Now, I'll tell you this: I love working with the high school, junior high athletes. One of my sons is 17, the other's 10, so I've seen both of those. It's a great place to start building and networking. I'm not saying going out and have kids, but working with those athletes in that age group, you're going to pick up a lot of the the families, the brothers, sisters, moms, dads, those kinds of things. Right now, I'm kind of an in-between time. I don't have my license yet. Everything's out there. I'm waiting just to get my paperwork back from the state. As soon as I do, I can hit the ground running. But I'm already starting, I've started all the social media stuff, which I actually did that about a year ago. I started building my social media presence, not knowing where I was going, but just building a following. So, you can kind of play that algorithm with those guys and build that up a little bit. So start building that, because a good social media presence is mandatory anymore to survive as a doctor, especially in a profession like ours, which is built a lot on personality. And unfortunately, that's not the best thing, because you'll get a lot of docs that may not be the best doctors, but they're extremely likable and they have a very good, almost cult-like following just because of they're great people. That's just kind of the reality of being a chiropractor. Is you've got to be able to do that. You've got to have a good personality, good communication skills, be comfortable with all walks of people, young people, old people, your typical hardworking blue-collar people to your CEOs. You've got to be able to, as they say, walk the walk and talk the talk. You've got to be able to talk to anyone, anytime. You've got to build that trust, that rapport with those people. So that's one of my pro tips for that. Learn some good public speaking, some good skills to talk to people, to be comfortable and genuine with people. Don't come off like a used car salesman trying to sell people the big package or whatever. Honestly, take care of people, do the right moral thing, and just be a good doctor. I know a lot of young folks, I know I'm so old, I'm 42, come to Logan, and not have had a lot of life experience. And that comes, but work on some communication stuff. Take some public speaking classes. Now, I actually had to give the faculty awards at our graduation breakfast ceremony this past week. 300 people in a room, and went fine. But I've done some public speaking, and I've prepared, and it helped. And you get a couple of those wins under your belt, and you'll be like, man, I can do the lunch and learns, the talks, all that stuff. Not a problem. So, like I said, get comfortable speaking to people. Do all those things. Now let's talk about Logan a little bit. Logan's been in kind of a state of flux since I've been there. The curriculum's moved towards the more evidence-based curriculum, away from the vitalistic chiropractor. Some people take the hard line of vitalistic chiropractic needs to go if we're going to move into the mainstream medical model. Me personally, I came from a mainstream medical model. It has its problems, but I think if we're ever going to do the right things and move where we need to move, that is the direction we need to take. Like I said, there's a couple good organizations out there. The ACA is doing some great things. working on Medicare parity right now. We're moving with the Forward Thinking Chiropractic group is a great group. They want to move us to more of that mainstream part of the model, and that's where we need to be. I mean, we in essence are the experts on musculoskeletal problems. Me personally, that's that's my niche. That's right there. That's what I want to take care of. Physical medicine, take care of people, musculoskeletal problems. That's where I'm at. That's my ballpark all day long. You know, getting chiropractors to stop making claims of things they can't back up with evidence. That's what we need. And once, you know, and here's my thought on that: if you know you finally get the evidence to back up those claims, man, that's awesome. We can do that too. But until then, let's stay in our lanes. Let's do what we need to do. So back to Logan. In a state of flux, they're moving in the right direction. Faculties move slowly. You know, classes are in and out, in and out. They graduate 3 classes a year. So it takes a little time to create change and movement in there. I do think, you know, they are moving in the right direction, but they still have a lot of the old dogs hanging on that still want to keep the vitalistic chiropractic stuff going. It's just going to have to die out slowly. I've heard this said a couple times, that the state of the profession is going to change one funeral at a time. As the old guard dies off, the new guard can replace that. I hate to say that, but that seems to be kind of the way it is. So, in wrapping up, Logan's a great school. It's a beautiful campus. It's a great place to be. I really enjoyed my time there. I actually spent an extra trimester in undergrad there too, so I spent 11 trimesters there, 10 in the program and 1 in undergrad, or actually 2 in undergrad, I'm sorry. So spent a lot of time at Logan. It's my alma mater now, so like I said, it's a good place to go. But going to it knowing that there's that faction that is kind of vitalistic, which is fine. I mean, like I said, it's a minority, and as we move more mainstream, I think that'll get smaller and smaller. Like I said, I had a great time there. But this is my last video. My life at Logan. Alright guys, I appreciate all the views and the comments and questions. Like I said, you know, comment on these videos. I still have the channel, so I'll answer videos or answer questions to the videos, you know, as soon as they pop up. I mean, if you have any questions, anything, just let me know, guys. I appreciate it. Like I said, signing off. Life at Logan. Try 10. Done. Dr. Davis. It's fun. Still, I can't. Saying that is weird. So, you guys, like I said, get out there, become DCs, make the profession better. Alright, signing out. Peace.